What's up, everyone? I'm Kelsey, and I'm on the J All Day podcast.
Mic check, mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
There you go. What's cracking? What's popping? It's your host from the West Coast, Jenna, aka J All Day, and I have a special guest today. Introduce yourself.
What's up? I'm Kelsey Weaver. I'm a licensed veterinary technician in Everett, Washington. Jenna's friend.
And she's also Trina's vet tech. So she's known us for a minute. We'll get into that as soon as I'm done giving you my new snack alert. Okay, so we're all cereal fans. I know you're a cereal fan. Apple Jacks coming out with a new cereal called Apple Jacks Caramel.
Ooh.
I know. Sounds sweet as shit. But, I mean, caramel apples, those are like my favorite things in the world for some reason. I don't know why I love them so much.
They're just a little sweet for me, but...
Really?
Yeah.
Like, I love caramel. Like, that's something with me, like, if I have chocolate, I have to have caramel.
Oh, yeah.
Or, like, something with the chocolate.
Right.
I can't just have just straight chocolate.
Chocolate's too much for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm mostly like a fruity flavor candy person.
Are you? So, like, a sour candy?
Yeah. So chocolate is like, too much chocolate is too much chocolate.
Yeah.
You gotta add the caramel.
I gotta do the caramel or the peanut butter or like the marshmallow or something. Like something's gotta be in with the chocolate.
Most definitely.
But they should be coming out soon, and I'm definitely gonna try them because I love cereal. Apple Jacks,
right?
Not really on my
list. Not my most favorite, but
they're trying to come back with that,
trying.
you know, caramel.
Right.
So that's the new snack alert.
Delish.
Okay, so let's get into first of all how we met. Trina was she going into surgery? Was that
no, not yet. No, you were just looking
for a vet
care.
That's
you just
right.
moved up here. Yep.
So if you are a fur parent, you know that it's a hella hard to find a good vet. I've been to bad vets before, and it's just like an uneasy feeling where it's like you can't have. It's not like a human being where they can tell you like I like that doctor, I don't like that doctor. You just don't know. You know what I'm saying? And so. I had just moved up here. I needed to find a vet for Trina because you need to do that. And she actually reached out to me on Instagram, right? Because I was on the radio at that time. And she was like, you should come to my veterinary clinic. And I was like, where is it at? Well, it's fucking hella far.
Yep, way up in Everett.
And I was only in like North Seattle, I guess, at that time. So it was like a cool 45-minute drive from me and whatnot. But I think it's totally worth it if you can trust the people that you're taking your dog to. Because we all know vets can be like, oh, they have a torn paw. And you're like, really? And you have to believe it because you don't know.
Well, not just that, but then you also wonder, like, what is happening to my dog in the back when they're shaking and coming in here all stressed out and nervous. And so, and they can't tell you how they were treated.
Exactly.
And I think that was kind of my lead was I'm not a veterinarian.
Yeah.
But I work here with some really great veterinarians, and my passion are pit bulls.
Yep.
And I just will give anything to help a pit bull mom or other owner the best ease of mind to come and know that their pet is taken care of. And I mean, I treated Trina just like I would treat my own pit bulls.
No lies. Like when Trina got her surgery here, her first one here, she took her in the back and would take photos and send me videos, and like that made my whole life because she's been through lots of different surgeries, and like I never had that experience before of actually knowing somebody that was going to be in the room or with her after, you know, and so that meant a lot to me.
I actually think I even came in on my day off.
And she did.
I was not scheduled the day that Jenna scheduled that, and I told my manager, I was like, well, here's the thing, I'm not going to let Trina come in and have surgery and me not be here, so I'm going to go ahead and come in and make sure everything goes okay. I mean, I trusted the technician that was doing it 100% that day and the doctor.
Yeah.
But I wanted to make sure she had that extra love and care when she came in too.
She's in here right now, actually. She's chilling. She's like, yeah, I remember.
I remember that. I was in the kennel. Kelsey came in. I was snuggling with my Disneyland blanket. Yeah. It was all good.
Brought all her little blankies. Yeah, so it's nice to know somebody that is taking care of animals that really is a genuine person that loves animals. You know, I've actually wanted to be a veterinarian when I was little for such a long time, but then I realized I'm going to have to put these dogs to sleep sometimes and these cats, and like I think I would be so torn up about it. I don't even think I don't know what I would do. Like I would be so sad every day And as a fellow animal lover, like, how do you even deal with that?
Man, it is hard. I tell you that. Like, it is so hard, especially, I mean, I have people that come in to put their,
It's okay.
To put their, you know, their pets are sick and they're, you know,
that
not
happened
doing
last
well.
time I went to see you with a Trina's check-in.
Yeah.
I saw a woman that was like signing papers to put
Yeah.
a dog down, and I swear just that, I was all teary-eyed, and I left thinking about that dog for like the next few hours.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't even deal.
I think the hardest one for me is when they don't want to be with them.
Yeah.
When it happens.
Yeah.
And it is such like I understand
Yeah.
that it's hard for you.
Oh God, I don't even want to talk about
Gosh,
this anymore.
okay, we won't talk about it. But anyways.
I'm kidding, like, so
no, okay,
anxious.
so we'll skip that part, but it is, I mean, but it also makes me feel good that I am there for them when it happens.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm just such a lover that I just give them everything I have. I won't lie, like, I have days that are just terrible, and I come home to my dogs and my cats. I have 2 dogs and 2 cats, and I have my wonderful husband, and I just come home and I am so thankful that I have them.
Right, just hold on to
them and just love them and know that I'm doing the best that I can out there.
Oh, it's
and that's
so
kind of
hard.
just, you know, as an animal lover, just that's the part that gets me through all of the hard parts is that I'm there for those people just like you who are having a hard time, but I'm their rock, and it does take a mental toll on us, but we are there for you guys.
Yeah, I had it all after all that good stuff you just said. Still don't want to do it. I still can't do it.
No, I mean, and that's just it. And my husband actually, so I've only been a veterinary technician, just a little history, for like a year and a half. I started working at Diamond in August.
Okay.
A year, so not this August, it was a year this August. So I started working there. Before that, I did 2 years of school, and before I did that, I had finally decided after a long period of time of not knowing what I wanted to do, that this is the field I wanted to get into. At 28 years old, I decided this. It took me that long to decide, you know, what my passion was, what I wanted to go to school for, what I wanted to live my life for. And
I love that she mentioned that too, because there's a lot of people that I talk to all the time that are like, yo, I'm too old to do this. I don't know if I should do this. I've always wanted to do this, but you know, I gotta make money. Like, nah, this is the chance. Like, if you want to do something, just start doing it.
Right, and that was me. I always had to make money. I started working when I was 16 years old. I worked up until I was 26 years old, and I fought forever to figure out what I was doing. I did a job I hated for a couple years after that, and then I finally realized what I was meant to do.
And like, you're lucky, because a lot of people still don't realize what they want to do.
But I honestly think you're never too old to figure out what you want to do.
Definitely.
So my husband had super, like, he was like, I don't think that you should do that. I don't think that you mentally can do that.
I can handle it.
Right.
Yeah.
And at this time, I will be honest, I was in a very dark place. I was very depressed, and I honestly didn't know if I could do it. But me deciding that I could took me out of that depression and took me out of that dark place. But this might make me sound really crazy, but I also very much love crows.
No judgment.
Crows are like my most favorite, like other than pit bulls and like, just in general, I love crows. They are the coolest birds in the whole entire world.
It's so funny because a lot of people think crows are bad luck and they're scary and all that. I actually know people from different cultures that think that crows are good luck and they're visitors from your ancestors.
I believe that one more than anything.
I don't know what to believe. I just think there's a lot of fucking crows in Washington.
That's not wrong. You're not wrong. There's a lot of them around there.
I've never seen so many in my life here.
But anyway, so I have a particular crow that likes to frequent my house all the time. And they're all around. So there was one day, me and Chad, my husband, had found this crow that looked very injured and very sad, and we tried to catch it and it ran away, and I was like, oh well, you know, I don't want to scare it. Left it alone. Then like a couple days later, I went out to my car trying to go to the gym, and this like just all messed up crow was literally sitting on the car directly next to my car, and it was like all sad, and I caught it and I took it in the back, and sadly that crow did pass, but I was like, you know what, I sat here, I did the best that I could for this crow, and I don't really feel, like, I feel sad that it's gone, but I'm not, like, so broken up that I can't go on living, which is what I was concerned about, that I wouldn't be able to move on. Like, I take sadness, I feel sadness for every pet that passes away that I'm with, but it doesn't stick with me.
No, you're able to let it go.
Yes, and I was, at that exact moment, I was like, you know what, I could actually probably do this. Like,
I'm ready.
I'm ready. I think I could do it. And then, like, a week later, I started enrolling in school and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. because originally I wanted to be a rehab
specialist.
a specialist in rehab.
Yeah.
I had seen this little
rehab like drugs or rehab
no, like rehab, like physical therapy, laser therapy, all that kind of stuff.
That's cool.
So there's a little dog named Lieutenant Dan who was pretty popular on Facebook and Instagram, and I fell in love with him. He had no use of his back legs, and these people rehabilitated him. And I was like, somebody rehabilitated that dog. Somebody gave that dog purpose to become a new creature.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what I needed to do. And I was like, how do I do that? And step one was becoming a licensed vet tech. Like, you have to be a licensed tech to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I don't know that I could do that. And then I realized, oh, I can do that. I can do that, and I could do so much more. So then I started going to school, and I started figuring out, and now I'm here. And I don't know what my future has to hold as a licensed vet tech, but I know that it's going to be a pretty wild ride, I'm sure of it.
That's dope, though. Yeah, there's just no way. Like, I love animals, and I'm so good with animals.
Yeah.
Like, I talked about finding Carlos on my doorstep the other night.
Yeah,
and
that was the craziest story.
But, like, that doesn't stop there. Like, I saved a dog running in the middle of traffic remember probably a little over 7-8 months ago.
Yeah.
And told it on the radio. Like, I literally this dog found its home because of me. You know what I mean? Like,
that's so funny.
But it was scary.
Those things happen to me all the time.
All the time. It's like
all
the animals know. It's like they know Ozark, and they're like, yes, she can help me.
She can help me. She could do these things.
And then it just sticks with me. You know what I mean? And so, like, for me, like, like even seeing like a dead animal on the side of the road, like, if it's not like the normal squirrel or whatever, it sticks with me for a long time. Yeah. And it's like,
I think I stopped and pulled 3 dead crows out of the road down the street from my house one day because I was driving by, and there was literally 1, 2, 3, and I was like, they can't just sit there in the road. I'm not going to let that happen.
Yeah.
Nope, not having it. So I just move them over to the side. I was like, they're already gone. I can't do anything for them, but I'm not going to let them just...
Yeah. I buried my first animal when I was like 8 years old. I came home from school one day. It's the saddest story. So we're going to get back up soon. But
there is positivity in this.
I was walking home from school, from the bus. I was like in 4th grade. I had a cat named Shadow. And as I was walking up, everybody else in the bus, they were like all circled around. And I was like, what are they doing, right? And I walked up, and they're like, ew, dead cat.
No.
And it was my dead cat.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
the
worst.
I just started crying, and then my parents weren't home. They didn't get home till like 5 or 6 always, so like I knew how to like cook and do things like that, you know. So I called my mom, and I told her that I found the cat, because the cat had been missing.
Yeah.
But it was like frozen. It was really weird. I still think my neighbors fucking killed it, by the way. And I had to pick it up with a trash bag, put some gloves on, brought it to the backyard, waited for them to get home, then I dug a hole. But like, I moved the cat all by myself. I remembered that because I didn't want to leave it out there.
Yeah.
And I was embarrassed because everyone was like staring at the cat.
See,
and it
maybe
was my
you
cat.
could be a veterinarian.
No, no, I couldn't. I'd be like, if a dog came in and like got hit by a car, I probably would pass out. No lie, like I would probably pass out. Like it's funny because I remember one time during lunch, it was in high school, I had my mom's dog, Silas, R.I.P. She was around for 16 years. She was a little miniature pit, our first miniature pit that we had. We had all big size usually, but she was miniature.
Minis are so cute.
Yeah, and her name was Silas, and she started choking, and my friends and me were in the living room, and so I just put my hand down her throat and like whisked it out and like did Heimlich on her, right?
Yeah.
And my friend, and then I just went back normal, like to do, like it was just so normal.
Was she fine after that?
Yeah, she's totally fine. I just was like, oh, she's choking. She's like, and so then I like took her, tip of my finger, like swooped it out.
Yeah.
Then she like went, you know what I mean? Like kind of hawked up some things. And then it was fine, and I was fine. I didn't even talk about it. And my friend looked at me and was like, bruh, you just fucking saved her life. And I was like, really? Like, I do it all the time. Like, because she had some like throat issues, you know? So like, it was totally
Did she have like a shorter face?
Yep.
Yeah.
That
happens a lot in the shorter face dogs.
So yeah, so I was just, you know, but I couldn't. I mean, I think about Trina's last days often, and I can't do it. Like, I could make myself start crying, bawling in tears like a little bitch right now. My eyes are getting glossy just thinking about it.
Same thing.
And so, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, but to imagine having to put her down and then hold her little paw and then have her be like, you know what I mean? It just, it's in my thoughts so often because she's older. I couldn't do that every day. I couldn't do that every day. I couldn't see these people come in and their lives be ripped from them, and I just couldn't do it. I want to save everything. That's why I can't go to shelters. Can't go to fucking shelters because I want to pick up every animal. And how selfish of that is that of me? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's very selfish though. I think it's just how big your heart is, because I also feel the same way. That's why I don't go to the shelters.
It's rough, man.
But I super encourage everyone to go to the shelter.
I know. Listen to me. I'm like, I can't go, but you should go.
But please go and pick up a dog.
Adopt, don't shop. That's the key.
100%.
And I will. You know, when I want to go and actually get something, then I will go to a shelter. But it's like, I can't just go just to
I can't
go.
leave empty-handed.
I can't even give my time to that. Like,
I actually was at the shelter recently.
Ah, fuck, I can't even talk about it.
Can I tell you this story now?
Okay.
Okay, so we went to the shelter to report something that had happened.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
It's a happy story. Well,
I hope so.
Mostly.
See, great.
So my husband and I mean, like we said, we are constantly rescuing animals. Like dogs just come into our lives. I mean, this all the time. This is why I keep slip leads in my car all the time for a loose dog. I keep dog treats in my car at all times for any kind of dog that I may come across. And these are all things that I've added from past experiences that I was like, man, I really wish I had a leash to slip on this dog.
Yeah.
Man, I really wish I had a treat to give this dog to entice it to come up to me, right?
Yeah.
So these are all new things that I have in my car at all times. But, so I don't know how long ago this was. A couple months ago, my husband and I were up in Bellingham visiting my family. We were getting ready to leave, and we were at a gas station. We were pumping gas, and Chad goes, Kelsey, is there anyone with those 2 dogs across the street? And I look across, and there are these 2 pocket pits, like you were describing, running up and down the sidewalk. And I was like, nope, absolutely no one. So we dropped everything we're doing. I grabbed the slip leads that I had and took off across the street. I left in my Escalade, I left the keys in the ignition, gas pumping, doors wide open, purses, phones, everything sitting in the car, take off to go find out what's happening, right? So we take off, and this other person had stopped and like grabbed the 2 dogs and had them like crouched down with them. They were super nice, as most pit bulls are, just very wanted some attention.
And didn't know where the fuck they were going.
Didn't know what was happening. They just knew that they were gonna go somewhere. Don't know where.
It was free. They was like, let's go.
I'm free. So they were running up and down the sidewalk, and the lady had stopped them, and we're like, is this your dog? And she goes, no, it's not, but I have 2 more in the car. And I was like, you have 2 more of these in the car? And they're like, yeah, they were up the street further, and we grabbed them, put them in their car, and had stopped these ones. So I put a leash around one.
And they all looked related, too?
I don't know about related. They were all the same size and same breed of dogs, okay? So then I put a leash around one of the dogs, and she instantly starts to panic. Like, barrel rolling, doesn't know how to be on a leash, freaking out. I handed the leash to Chad, and the other dog got loose and takes off running. So I was like, okay, peace, I'm leaving. I run after this dog. Didn't know where he was going. He's barking at me, and then barking in front of him, running. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep going after you. There is a Motel 6 right there that is like the driveway goes into the Motel 6. So I was following it, and it's barking, and I was like, well, this is very strange. I'm running into this Motel 6. This is what horror movies are made of. Like, I don't really know exactly what is happening.
Pit bull barking.
Yep, pit bull barking at me, Motel 6. Like, I don't know where we're going. So I'm chasing after this dog, but he knew exactly where he was going. Like, he was on a mission to get to somewhere. So I had left Chad and the other people behind, and I was all by myself. And then that dog got in front of me, and all of a sudden, 4, 5, or 6 more pocket pit bulls were all charging directly at me. Like, scary charging at me. And I thought to myself, well, Kelsey, you know, if you're gonna die, this is gonna be the way that you could die. Like, I'm gonna be mauled by pit bulls.
That's awful, though.
It would be, but like, okay, so, but this gets better. So I was like, in my head, I was like, well, this could be really sketchy. So I put my foot up, and I was like, no, stop. And then this man yelled at them, and they all stopped. And they all stopped, and so then I crouched down, and they literally, instantly, all started jumping on top of me, kissing my face, wagging their tails, so excited to have any kind of affection whatsoever. Like, all they wanted was love.
Man, that took a turn.
You have no idea where this story is going. So, and I asked the guy, I said, so are these all of your dogs? And he said, oh yeah, someone kicked in my back door, and they are all running loose. And I was like, you're literally in a Motel 6. Somebody kicked in your back door. What is happening? You don't have a back door.
Yeah.
And then as I'm talking to this man, more and more dogs. I cannot even count how many dogs I saw. Like just in and out of this one room in the corner, like coming at me, going back, like just, and literally all they wanted was affection. Like that's all they wanted. They were so happy to see somebody that would talk to them and pet them and be so happy. And then Chad is slowly walking. He comes around the corner carrying the dog like this, baby style. He was like, you know, as soon as you like pick up the dog, she melts in my arms. She just did not know how to be on a leash.
Right.
Didn't understand it.
Yeah.
The other people came in their car with their other dogs, and I had seen another woman, and she was like trying to gather all the dogs and put them in the hotel
So
room.
how many are we looking at right now?
You know, if I really had to estimate
like approximately
10, 15, maybe more.
Shit, okay.
A lot. All different colors.
But all same pocket.
All same pocket.
Wow.
And I don't know if you know how much pocket pit bulls go for.
Yeah, they're super
purebreds. They're very expensive.
Yeah.
They're very bougie.
Yeah.
And I just think they're cute. Like, I'm like, I would adopt this thing. I would not pay $3,000 for it. But that's how much people pay for them. All different colors. Their ears were all cropped, like it puppy mill style. Like, I don't know what was happening there.
Yeah.
And I was like, I asked the woman who was trying to like gather all the dogs and put them into one room. I said, you know, do you know how many dogs you have? Do I need to look for more? Do you have all of your dogs? Do you know what is happening? And none of them would look at me, talk to me, nothing. Like, I was like, this is just so shady.
Just off,
so off. And so, like, I looked in the room and I saw dog kennels inside the room that had multiple dogs inside them. There were dog kennels stacked on top of each other outside. I was like, this is so bad. Like, so bad. And I helped them get their dogs, and then we were starting to walk back to our car, and the guy was like, hey, dude, to Chad, can you come help me fix these doors? They kicked them all in, and we're like, what doors are you even talking about? And there are all these doors, like, off of their door jambs in this, like, hallway, and Chad, like, is looking at the doors. So my husband's in construction, so he kind of knows these things, and he's like, these are not fixable doors. Like, they kicked them into where they are not fixable.
Right.
And he's like, dude, is this where you're keeping the dogs? And the guy's like, no, it's on the way to where we're keeping the dogs. So I asked Chad, and he said, usually, typically in those rooms, they are like electrical type rooms that they lead to like boiler type rooms inside the room. So like a room inside of a room. Yeah. And I was like, so are they keeping these dogs in here? So we left, and I was like, I feel pretty crappy about this.
Yeah.
Hated that I didn't have a phone or something to take any kind of videos or pictures of what was even happening. This was like things that I see on TV happening to me directly right now. And I was like, what is even happening? So I went straight to the Humane Society. I was like, I need to talk to one of your animal control officers as soon as possible, right now. Like, this needs to happen. Yeah. And I filed a report, and I followed up on it many times. When the people finally went out there, they were like, well, there's only like 3 dogs there. Damn. And they are not in bad condition, so we can't do anything. But they are also working with the police department, who have been there multiple times for other problems. Because the part I didn't tell you is that Motel 6 is very shut down. There's no one there. It is not working. Like, it is just a vacant Motel 6 that, like, the office is pitch black.
So they were living in there without it even being a motel. Right. Okay.
They're just like squatting there, which is really confusing because there's still electricity running there. They've got a big ass TV in the front, like in the room that they are in. Like, I just don't understand the whole entire situation. Yeah. Wow. So I'm just like mind blown. So this whole story, I don't really have like a super happy ending because I didn't get to like actually get them to bring all of the dogs and find them. Yeah. But what I do know is that I did the best that I could to keep those dogs from at least getting run over. Yeah. And then I followed up on it numerous times to make sure that they were going there, contacting the police, getting involved, and now I know for a fact that they are keeping an eye on that place. Yeah. Legitimately. But it is just...
Now I'm going to think about those other 15 dogs for
sorry, Jenna, but
2 months.
I think about them all the time. But I also drive by it all the time, and there's no one there, so... It's just one of those things, but you know, these kinds of things happen all over the United States.
That's why I definitely don't want to talk about it and think about it, because I can get myself into a real bad depression.
What you should tell people is, if you see something, say something.
That's definitely true.
So if you see something shady, don't be afraid to say something.
Unless it's drugs, don't snitch.
Snitches get stitches, unless it has to do with
Just don't get involved. But animals,
walk away, unless it has to do with animals.
Yes.
Animals and kids.
Yes.
Yep.
Drugs, no.
No.
So what other, do you have another story that you want to share? Maybe one more with just being a vet that you think people should know, want to know?
Oh, okay. I just have to think about it for a minute because there's so many stories.
She was saying, though, that, you know, this is nice for someone like myself to hear. And I know there's a lot of fellow pit bull owners that listen to me as well. But, you know, she was talking about when pit bulls do go in for surgeries and things like that, sometimes they are labeled as aggressive or dangerous. And even if they're not, I mean, Trina would never hurt a damn soul.
She doesn't know how.
She would probably hurt herself before she hurt somebody else. She's such a chicken. And for me to have her go to like a vet and have her be labeled aggressive and have people scared to touch her or to show her the same kind of love that they would do a Yorkie,
right,
makes me feel really sad. So I really love that Kelsey is there to shine light. Like when you're a pit bull owner, you have a service that you have to do to your community, and that's to make a believer a day. Like that's how I kind of like look at it. With Trina, especially when I walk her around or when we go places, I make a believer. And when people say, what kind of dog is she? A pit bull. There's no fancy names around it. I'll tell her what kind she is later on if people know about it. But I make sure that someone will see her and feel her and will be like, wow, she's such a nice pit bull. I've never met a pit bull before. And it changes people's perspective. And I think that's really important. So just the fact that you're there at the vet, changing people's perceptions of them every day,
right,
is you're part of the crew,
and also just trying to ease people's minds that they are okay. I guess maybe a good story to tell you is one that just actually happened this week.
Okay.
So I have all kinds of them, but
yes.
Specifically, I had an owner come in just the other day who had adopted a pit bull type dog. She was probably mostly pit.
Mix, yeah.
I kind of see pit bulls in most every dog. Like I look at them and I'm like, that could have a pit bull mix in it.
That also, keep that in mind too when you do hear about pit bull attacks. Pit bull dogs that attack their owners and kill them and whatnot. Just take in consideration that you do not have a DNA test on this dog. So they're pretty much labeling what they think is a pit bull when I've seen times where it's definitely a boxer,
right,
or definitely a Rottweiler, but
or
they want to just say or a lab mix and they're like, oh, it's a pit bull. So you know, be a little more kind if you hear news like that. And I always said, like, I don't want some type of fucking, if you're gonna go against a breed, then be ready to pull out a DNA test and say this is exactly what it is,
right,
and it's aggressive because it is this.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Also, there's no dogs that are aggressive because of what kind of dog they are.
Facts.
Ever.
And lockjaw is nothing but a, what do you call them?
It's a lie.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just like
but what do you call it? It's a myth.
Stigmatism.
It's a myth.
Right.
So, yeah, lockjaws, there's no such thing. They're just super strong dogs.
That's it.
That's it.
I mean, my dog will hang from a rope and tug and play and tug, and then as soon as I say, drop it,
they left
down on the ground.
I've done books and research and 12-page papers on pit bulls, and there's so many lies about these dogs. It's disgusting, and you know, you want to take it into, it's compared to racism. That's exactly what it is. But
call
with
it
dogs,
breedism.
It definitely is, and it's a damn shame. If you were somebody that maybe of color and have ever been felt like you were being, you know, someone being prejudiced towards you or whatnot, like pit bulls face that shit every day. And in a lot of places they get taken away from their owners. In Philadelphia, they'll rip them from your homes. They will come in and grab Trina and they will take her from me and
not
they will
even
kill
because
her.
she did anything
and
wrong.
That's it. Just because of her breed. So if that's not fucked up, I don't know what is, honestly.
It's real messed up.
Okay, so back to your story. Let's end it with that.
So, this week, it was just yesterday, I had this gentleman come in with his pit bull dog that he had adopted from the shelter.
Okay.
He adopted her a little less than a year old. But
still a pup.
Yeah, still pup. But she's now 2.5 years old.
Okay.
And I don't know if you know how vaccines work.
Yeah.
But typically, you need to booster them frequently, especially when they're young.
Yeah.
And he has not been to the vet for 2.5 years.
Oh no.
Mostly because she was so afraid when they did adopt her. He said even when the day that I adopted her, it was so hard to get her in the car because she was so traumatized from being left by her owners and being in that environment that she was in, that she was just terrified. So she's sitting there like in between Dad's legs, like shaking, terrified. And I did my typical, what I do.
Yeah.
I just talked to her, got down on the ground. I was talking to her. She did not look like an aggressive type dog, even though it had, so when they called and made the appointment, they had told us that she could be a caution. She doesn't really like new people.
Which is smart.
Right.
Because you rather have somebody say, hey, I'm not sure about this dog. She could be a little weird, rather than get her in and she's the sweetest thing ever.
Yeah.
But the other
no
way
matter
around,
what kind of dog you have.
Yeah.
I would rather you call and say, you know, she's kind of,
Facts.
he or she is weird around new people or doesn't do great in stressful situations. I don't care what kind of dog it is.
Yeah.
If I know that, then I will try to reduce the stress and keep it as simple as possible. So knowing that, I was like, well, and me being me, and I was like, okay, this is, owner says caution, it's a pit bull. I was like, well, we'll see what it really is like.
Right.
So I went into the room, like I typically do, and I was asking them, you know, well, what's going on with her, you know, and asking about the history, and the whole time she's sitting in between Dad's legs, like just shaking, but she would give me these eyeballs, like, I kind of want to come say hi, but I'm really scared.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I would talk to her, but then talk to Dad. I was like, you know, it's really okay. I'm a really nice girl. And I would like get my hand out just to let her sniff me. Because I think that's the most important, is just letting the dog know that you are not a threat.
And get used to you.
Yeah.
I mean, they can't speak, right? Little kids get nervous all the time. So think about a dog. This is new. She's been through a lot.
Yeah.
You know, people I think just aren't understanding to dogs like they are humans.
No. So typically I will just talk to the owners. If it's a scared dog, like if Jenna was here with scared Trina, I would just talk to Jenna. And be like, you know what? If she's that scared, I'm just going to let her come to me. Make her own decisions.
And the dog's going to also feed off of your energy. So if you start to get nervous in a situation, your dog's going to get nervous in a situation, and vice versa. If you're calm and collected, your dog will be calm and collected.
Right. And I get a lot of owners that are just stressed in general, they feed off of that too, which makes it worse. So this dog, you know, we were talking about all the things. Obviously, it needed all of its vaccines because it had been a long time since I went to the vet. I was noticing that the skin was kind of really irritated. It was losing hair. She just looked really sad. And then I found out that she, not to hit a sad note again, but she had just lost her best friend dog that weekend, and so she's been real depressed since and all this stuff. So I was like, okay, this is going to be all right. Like, I can do this. I can make her experience really great. So I went and told the doctor, which was actually Dr. Hannah. Shout out to Dr. Hannah. You met him. He did Trina's surgery.
He did. He was really great.
He's super awesome. So he was the doctor that saw this dog, and I told him, I was like, you know, she's just real nervous in the room. Just go slow, and I'll go in and get the dog and bring it back and do whatever it is that we're doing to her. So we went over all of the things, and we decided what we were doing. So I brought her back, and I did put a muzzle on her because I will muzzle anything. I call it a nose cozy, and I just tell them it's for their safety and my safety. We just keep everyone honest. I think I muzzle my own dogs. It's a great tool. It's not a mean thing that a lot of people think are mean.
It's just safety. You don't want, especially if you have an aggressive dog, you want to take it for a walk, you got to. Who cares what people think that looks like? You either want to get that dog put down because it accidentally attacked somebody, or do you want to keep it safe and take it home that night? It's up to you.
100%. So we muzzled it. And I mean, the entire time she was back there, she just like sat next to me. I didn't muzzle her instantly. I was getting all the things ready, and she was just sitting next to me, and she was just really scared of everything that was happening. And then I put the muzzle on her, and I sat on the ground with her, and she instantly like laid in my lap, curled up in my lap. They wanted a nail trim and then vaccine, so I was trimming her nails. And I know Trina doesn't really love getting her nails trimmed,
but she's so good.
Most dogs hate getting their nails trimmed.
Hates it.
Yep. So it has to do with their paws. They just hate their paws being touched. And I think it also has to do with the clipping noises of the nail trimmers. So it just really depends on a lot of factors. So this dog in particular laid in my lap, curled up, and was just watching me the entire time. I clipped each one of her nails. Just curled up in my, no problem at all. I did it all by myself. I did not need another person to help. Literally laid in my lap and just stared at me. We gave her vaccines. I gave her little peanut butter. She ate the peanut butter, so happy. And then I took the muzzle off at her, and she was still giving me these tiny faces, and she like nose booped me with her nose, and I was like, you wanted to give me a kiss. And she was not shaking anymore at this point. She was not scared.
She's comfortable now.
She was comfortable.
She knew they weren't there to hurt her.
Yep, I took her back in the room with the owner, and it was like she didn't even care that the owner was in the room at that point anymore. She was just going back to the owner like, is it okay that I have this friend? Is it okay? And she came back to me. Jenna, I mean, this dog was shaking, trembling in between this owner's legs. And then went from that to, this person is so cool. I love her. I'm not shaking anymore. I want her to pet me. And she was like rolling over and like getting her belly pet in the room. Like, those are the moments I live for. Like, I take a dog that is terrified. I give them a little love. That was her first vet experience ever. and now she's not going to be afraid to come in and see us anymore.
Aww.
So things like that is why I do what I do.
That's a really happy story. And the most I've gotten out of that story was that dog went home with its owner.
That's
Any
right.
stories like that, I'll listen to all day.
That's right.
But they don't have owners, and that makes me sad. That doesn't work for me.
No.
Okay, so we always end it with some outro questions.
Okay.
And first of all, before we do that, I always do this, but if people want to take their animal to you, to the vet, just shout out the veterinary place that you work at.
Okay, so I work at Diamond Veterinary Hospital in Everett. We are on Rucker Avenue. We are a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week emergency vet hospital that are open all the time. But on the bright side, we are also a general practice hospital. So we take general appointments for vaccines, wellness, spays, neuters, tumor removals.
One-stop shop.
One-stop shop. We are there. We do not have specialty capabilities, so a lot of times we will stabilize animals and ship them to a bigger emergency hospital. But we do the best that we can for most people. And the best part about it is that we are relatively less expensive than the big emergency hospitals. So push comes to shove, we do the best that we can for every person to make it work.
Yep, I like that. Okay, so first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
Hit my snooze.
Hey, that could be it.
But no, okay, so I have a lot of geriatric animals.
Aww.
So the first thing I do in the morning is medicate my cats.
Okay.
And then I shower.
Okay, there we go. Favorite cereal?
Oh, so I don't eat a ton of cereal anymore because I try not to eat carbs. But when I was a kid, my favorite cereals were probably like Captain Crunch and Lucky Charms.
Okay. One thing someone would be really surprised to know about you.
That's really hard. Well, I did give a speech that not a lot of people know about this for my school. When I graduated one of my programs, I gave a graduation speech at that.
Okay.
Graduation.
So you were like the chosen one?
I think there's 3 of us, but yes, I was one of the chosen ones. It was a speech about overcoming difficult times to do what you want to do.
Oh, I like that. And then favorite thing to cook? Oops, actually no. Proudest moment?
My proudest moment would be when I passed my VT&E, which is the test that I have to take to be a licensed veterinary technician.
That's dope.
I might have vomited in the parking lot beforehand, but yes.
Nobody will ever know.
Except for my husband and all of you.
What is your favorite thing to cook?
Am I on a diet and cooking this?
No, it's like favorite thing to cook. Just if you could cook anything in the world that you love the most.
I love to barbecue.
Okay.
And all of the side dishes that go with a good barbecue.
Like?
So I love to barbecue.
Like, give me a meal.
How about like a tri-tip with some mashed potatoes and corn on the cob?
Okay.
That's probably one of my favorites.
I love mashed potatoes so much. Most hated house chore?
Dishes. Definitely.
Just drying them and washing them?
No, the whole thing. All of them. All of them. I won't lie, there are many times that dishes sit on my counter for a minute until I work late and Chad probably does them.
Will always does my dishes. I say that like almost every podcast.
I hate dishes.
And then last but not least, sour candy or chocolate. You mentioned this before. But
sour candy.
What's your favorite sour candy?
Sour candy.
Or just favorite candy?
High juice is one of my favorites.
Okay, flavor?
Not necessarily. I just really like the pack with the grape and the strawberry. The apple is not really my favorite. It's actually what I eat a lot on emergency.
Yeah.
Emergency days, I just keep up on my high chews and I'm good to go. High chews and energy drinks. We call it the emergency diet.
That's not gonna work for long though.
No, it won't.
Stay off the energy drinks. Those are dangerous. But high chews. I love high chews too. Well, thank you for coming. Tell everybody where to find you on Instagram.
So on Instagram, I believe I'm Kelsey1276.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
If you have any questions about animals or whatnot, she's a good person to always kind of reach out to. And if you are in the Everett area, give Diamond Vet a chance. That's clean.
Don't read all of the reviews. People review when they're angry, not happy.
You know what? I didn't even there you got to give and take with reviews. She's right, but I just think that if you're in the area, request her. Like, she's gonna tell you the best doctor. She always told me what way to go, and Trina is doing great. So she
stayed the entire podcast.
She cares. I know she did. She did stay. She didn't try to leave. But yeah, you can always hit me up as well if you have any questions, or if you have any questions that you need advice on or whatnot. Subscribe, like, follow, all the things. I appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to you next time.
Okay.
Peace.